All right, everyone. My name is Ben. I'm the owner of Radon Gone LLC in Chicago. You can look it up. You can see the reviews. You can see my website. And I just want to talk about the business and how I set it up and how you can do the same thing and how you can go from whatever your situation is now and build a multiple six-figure business. Now, this is not going to be a fancy edited video. There's probably going to be maybe some rants. It might be a little bit hard. I'm just gonna do a single take, and it is what it is. This is the truth. I'm not going to try to do multiple takes and try to make it real presentable. So if you are a person that is handy, if you're a person that is making under $100,000 a year, if you have any construction background at all, and you have the desire to start your own business, to be your own boss, and have a lot more time freedom, this is the video for you. If you're looking for something easy that you can do on the side, this might also work for you. But if you just if you're not handy at all, this is not the best thing. I do not necessarily recommend this for you. If you can sell, you can talk to people, we'll get into the testing, you might be able to do that. But when it comes to mitigation, you have to be handy, at least a little bit. All right, so my name is Ben. I've always been on and off DIY kind of guy in construction. In college, I did construction during the summer. I just did odd end jobs, but I was never scared of trying to do a project. I would research, I'd look on YouTube, and I would kind of get it. It's not that complicated. Ultimately, it all comes down to the bar's so low in construction. You have to be honest, you have to be capable, and you have to deliver on what you say you will do. Like most contractors, the horror stories you hear is they're never on time, they're never on budget, and many of them steal. So the bar was so low, I did jobs and people were very happy, so I always had positive feedback. But I went and became a civil engineer with an emphasis in structural engineering. I tried to make it happen, never worked out for me. Eventually, I ended up quitting after 4 years, and I started doing construction. But during that, I discovered radon mitigation. And with the help of someone who I met, I literally called up a guy who had a company who has now become a friend of mine, a close friend of mine actually, and he helped me start my company. Within the first year, my business, I started in March. By December, I had already done $90,000 worth of net profit after startup costs, after everything, and I only worked, it was I will have to go in depth, like an in-depth year one analysis and year two analysis. I'll do that video too. Off the top of my head, I think it was 120 jobs. Sometimes I was doing 2 jobs a day, so do the math. I didn't work all that many days. It was about 200,000 gross, and then 90 was profit. Year one. Year two, I just finished doing my papers right now, 98,000 net, and I paid my worker, I had a salaried worker that I paid $80,000. And it was my dad, okay? He did not work every single day. He definitely didn't. He did only 109 jobs. I was gone for a whole month in January, a month and a half. I was in Costa Rica. And then all of November and December, I was gone as well. So I had many months that I didn't work, and he couldn't work because he's not licensed. So it is extremely, extremely good. You can do this while doing a construction company. The ideal person who would do this is someone who has a construction company or has a handyman business, and he wants to add another avenue of income to their tool belt. Anyways, what is radon? Radon is a gas that is found throughout the United States, especially the continental United States, because Hawaii doesn't have it. I don't know about Alaska, but in the Midwest and the West Coast and the Northeast Coast, almost everywhere, there are uranium deposits underground, and because of that, they release radon gas. The radon gas gets accumulated in homes, and if it's not vented out properly, if it's not caught before it enters the home and routed outside, which is what you're doing through mitigation system, then it accumulates in the house, and over time, it causes the people in the home to have lung cancer. Now, for many, many years, this has been known about, but real estate agents who were the primary driving force in educating people didn't do a good job. Many real estate agents were not being fiduciaries to their clients, which means somebody who's supposed to care about their best interest and tell them, hey, you should consider testing for radon. They would just kind of hush hush about it, don't worry about it. It's like the lead, it's like the asbestos, just let it go. But now people have found out about it and they've been getting serious. Some legislation's coming down the pipeline, which is starting to require it to be tested. Anyways, so the demand has finally started to really pick up. What we're doing is we're going in on homes where people either are forced to do it because they're selling their house and the buyers tested and now they have to do it, or someone bought a house and they want to have their home mitigated. An average cost for, like, my average jobs across everything is $2,000. So $2,000 in terms of you're eliminating a cancer source in your home, one of the main ones, especially for your kids. It's a no-brainer. It's such an easy sell when I tell a client, like, there's nothing you do to your house. You can't paint your house for under $2,000. You can't change flooring. You can't do landscape. You can't do anything for under $2K. And none of those have a return like this. So the sell is really easy. Anyway, so I did it. I loved it. What I really loved, since I was a construction guy, though I did stop doing this because I got so busy with the radon, is 50%, maybe more, of my clients were people who were buying a new house. So I would be in the house and then they'd be like, hey man, what else do? You do anything else? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I do. What do you have in mind? And he's like, well, I kind of want to do an addition here. I want to change this door, that. And all of a sudden, I started getting more work than I can handle. So I started subbing work out. So I would be the guy in the middle, and I would sub it out to all my subs that I had before. I just make a little cut, which honestly helped a lot. That's radon mitigation. Now, this is only for Illinois. I do not know off the top of my head all the other states, but in Illinois, you cannot mitigate and test. So because of that, you cannot mitigate and test the same home, okay? You can do different homes, but I wanted to concentrate only on mitigation. Testing, you have a lot more jobs, but it's a lot lower profit. A typical test in Illinois costs about $220. What that entails is you're driving to the guy's house, you talk to them about what you're about to do. You're about to put devices in the room. They have to keep their doors and windows shut, don't leave them open. You give them that, you turn on the device, you come back in 2 days. You check that they didn't open the seals on the windows, and you grab your device, you go home, put the data into a template, something you got a nice little template you can report the data on, and you tell them this is your home's radon level. You have a lot more jobs because almost a lot of real estate transactions need these. Every time there's a buyer that wants to do it, they test. And then if they find radon, mitigation company comes, then they got to retest. So you get called back a lot. But you do go back every 2 days, so you do a lot of driving, a lot of miles. You do not need to be handy for that. So you could start a testing company on the side very easily, especially in Illinois. In other states where you don't need to be licensed, like Illinois, a lot of the home inspectors will already do this, so your competition will be higher. But for licensed states, this is solid. Mitigation though, you can't test the same house, but you're making a lot more profit. My average profit after absolutely everything, even with my, paying my dad a solid amount of money, was coming to just shy of $900 per job profit. So on days when I was doing 2-3 jobs, I was making 2-3K. It's very good. So why am I putting this out there? Why am I even saying this? One, I really think that there's enough to go around. There are so many homes that need to be mitigated. I hate the fact that there are people who don't know that their house has radon and that their kids are getting lung cancer. It pisses me off because it's such a low-hanging fruit. There's no reason for that. And as a guy who has 4 kids myself, I would hate myself as a father if I knew that for 2K, which, like, honestly, I'll blow on I went skiing 2 weekends ago. I blew more than that doing that. Sorry, I didn't go skiing. I went snowboarding. But for the cost of a vacation, I could have prevented my kids from getting lung cancer, or my wife, or whatever. Kind of it's a noble cause. When I was doing construction, I liked it, but I was really just kind of doing rich people things, you know, like, I want a new bathroom. Okay, cool, making a new bathroom. There's nothing noble about that. I feel a great sense of pride that I'm able to save people from cancer. My logo literally says, saving lives one house at a time. And honestly, it's not BS. It's really what we do. We're doing it. I drink the Kool-Aid, fine, whatever. But it's true. Number two, I'm doing this because I've realized I can also make money by training people how to do this. So, sure enough, the second I started, I couldn't stop talking about it. Because when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm making $1,000 a day and I'm working 3-4 hours only? This is amazing. I start talking to everybody about it. One of my buddies finds out and he's like, okay, I want to start too. And at the time, I didn't have the mindset of, like, there's so much to go around. I'm like, dude, no, that's like, this is my thing. I'm not really gonna let you start it on your own, because you're gonna be my competition, you know? So we worked out a deal where every single job he does, he gives me $200 off of it. So if you're looking at my stuff, $900 profit a job, he's only making $700. Well, guess what? Year one, he actually beat me in jobs. Probably because I took so many months off. I was off for 5 months almost. But he was over. I was looking at how much money I made from him. He did over 100. He did 99 jobs, but he doesn't pay me for jobs that are activations because those are only $800 a pop. We'll get more into that in further videos. But he did solid work. He did great. Year one. So I did great. He did great. Dude, it's solid. I'm telling you. It's a good business. So now what I really want to do is I'd like to train people to start radon and then either help them as subcontractors so they would start their own company, and I would help them by getting them jobs and subcontracting them out to do my jobs. Or I would just train them and they would do a similar thing where they'll do a cut. Helps me put more food on, make more money for my family, and it helps people really get into a great business. So if you're interested, it's a long 13-minute way of me saying, if you're interested, follow along. I'll make more videos. I'll get more into this. I truly like the business. And it totally changed my life, 100%. So I honestly think I could do the same for you. Peace.